Xavi, quédate. Xavi, quédate. Xavi, quédate. Ro, 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 ro. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is December 8th, 2025. And today we're going to be talking about a special topic, not directly related to Barcelona, but it does affect Barcelona, and that is the current crisis going on at Real Madrid. Now, if you don't know what I was chanting because you don't speak Spanish, it's a song that Madridistas used to sing to Barcelona when Xavi Hernandez was our coach and when things were not going well. But they used to chant Xavi Quédate, which means Xavi stay. They used to chant that at the Bernabeu. They used to chant that at TV programs. And well, now, guess what? Karma is a bitch because now we get to chant Xavi Quédate, which means Xavi stay, because right now Real Madrid are in full crisis mode. Yesterday they lost at the hands of Celta Vigo 0-2 at their own stadium, and reports are stating that Florentino Perez was one of the last people to leave the stadium because they're already plotting some changes. They're saying that the match against Manchester City in the Champions League on Wednesday will be the final chance for Xabi Alonso, and if Real Madrid lose, that Xabi Alonso could be fired as soon as Wednesday. This is the day after tomorrow because, again, Madrid are in full-blown crisis. Now, let's look at La Liga table because right now Barcelona are sitting at the top of La Liga table with 40 points, 4 points more than Real Madrid, who are sitting second with 36. And don't forget, Villarreal are in third place with 35 points, and they have one less match. Now, if Villarreal win their upcoming match against Levante, they could be moving up to second place, with Real Madrid dropping all the way to third. Now, let's look at the results of Real Madrid in the last 5 matches, because in the last 5 matches, they've only been able to get one victory against Athletic Club de Bilbao, and Athletic Club de Bilbao that it's one of the worst Athletic Club de Bilbaos in the most recent years. 3 draws against Girona, who are at the bottom of the table, against against Elche, and against, I can't remember the third team, Rayo, I think. Anyways, it's irrelevant. And then yesterday, a defeat at the hands of Celta Vigo 0-2 in their own stadium, where Militao had to leave injured. God knows how long he's going to be out, and where they received 3 red cards in total. There was 1 red card to the bench. Now, I know a lot of Madridistas are going to say, of course, they're going to try to blame the referees, saying that it was the referee who affected the match. That's why they lost and blah, blah, blah. It's the same excuse as always. But let's be honest, because I did watch part of that match. It was not the referee. Real Madrid would have lost that match with or without the referee, with or 11 players or with 9 players. It didn't matter because this Real Madrid is an absolute mess. And this is why I decided to talk about this. Now, a lot of people are blaming Xabi Alonso, saying, wow, it's Xabi Alonso, he's a bad coach, blah, 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 and this is why Real Madrid are being horrible. But honestly, I think that problem comes from way before. Because let's not forget, last season, not only did Real Madrid end the season trophyless, not only did they lose all 4 El Clasico matches at Barcelona, at the hands of Barcelona, including a 4-0 and a 5-2, but the entire season, they also played horribly. In fact, I don't see much difference between this Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso than last year's Real Madrid under Ancelotti. So I don't think this problem stems directly from Xabi Alonso. I think this is a problem that's been going back a few seasons, and that's only gotten worse and worse. Now, I think that actually the problem started not last season, but the one before. And you might say, Mo, what are you talking about? Real Madrid won La Liga and the Champions League 2 seasons ago. And yes, but despite winning those trophies, you started seeing the cracks. And the cracks were that you had a team, Real Madrid, who really didn't play any kind of football. They didn't have any kind of identity. They didn't have any system in place. A very flat Real Madrid. A Real Madrid that when you watched it, you didn't really understand what they were trying to do. But of course, being Real Madrid, being the club that it is, the resources that it has, some of the best players in the world, they were able to constantly rely on individual talent and win. And also, they were somewhat united. They had a united locker room. So between the individual talent and the fact that they were united as a team, That's how they were able to win La Liga and the Champions League 2 seasons ago. But nonetheless, the cracks were starting to show. Because just like Barcelona under Xavi Hernandez, when you don't have an identity, when you don't have a system in play, when you barely pull victories through, when you win 1-0, 0-1, that eventually catches up with you. And that's exactly what happened last season. Now, there's another problem I think that has helped us get to this point, and I think that it's the Kylian Mbappe problem. Now, you might also say, Mo, what the hell are you talking about? Kylian Mbappe right now is the best player that Real Madrid have, top scorer of Real Madrid, top scorer of La Liga. Yes, 100%. I'm not here to blame Kylian Mbappe as a player. I'm here to talk about the dynamics of the locker room. Because again, 2 seasons ago, Real Madrid were just as bad, but they were still united. And that's why they were able to win. Then came summer, and Real Madrid announced that they were going to sign Kylian Mbappe. And I said many times on this channel, I said, be careful, because a lot of people were like, Mo, what are we going to do? Madrid are about to sign Mbappe. We're in trouble. And I said, I don't think so. Because we all know what a diva Mbappe is. We all know what a diva Vinicius Jr. is. And we now know what a diva Jude Bellingham is. And the more divas are in one locker room, well, the bigger the problems. And I think that also has to do with why Real Madrid are in the crisis that they are. Because came Mbappe, and yes, he has been performing, the best player of Real Madrid so far, one of the best players in the world. But nonetheless, Real Madrid went from being a flat team that didn't play much, but at least they were united, and that's how they were able to win La Liga and the Champions League, to the Real Madrid of last season, where they were still flat, still didn't play any kind of entertaining football, but now it was a fractured locker room. And that's why they ended last season trophyless. That's why they lost all 4 Clásico matches against Barcelona, including 2 finals. And that's why they were humiliated at the hands of Barcelona. 16 or 17 goals against. And then comes the Xabi Alonso problem, which only aggravated a problem that had been happening from several seasons ago. And that is, I think, the inexperience of Xabi Alonso in handling big stars. Because what Xabi Alonso did at Bayer Leverkusen, he's clearly a good coach. But just like we've seen with players where talent and skill is not enough, you also need to perform, right? I always use the prime example of that is Joao Felix. Incredibly talented player, one of the most talented players in Europe. But where is he? In Saudi Arabia. Why? Because he can never turn that talent into performance. Well, with coaches, it's the same. You could be a talented coach, a skilled coach, a coach with a good vision, with good tactical knowledge and reading. But if you don't know how to control a big locker room like that of Real Madrid or Barcelona or any big team, well, it doesn't matter how skilled and talented you are. And I think that's what happened with Xabi Alonso. I think he's a great coach, but he's not a coach that knows how to handle big egos, big divas, big stars. And him coming to Real Madrid, that only aggravated the problem. So I don't think Xabi Alonso is the problem itself. I think he helped it aggravate it. Because again, this problem has been going on for quite some time, and it's only been getting worse. It got worse when Mbappe arrived because now you had too many divas in one locker room, and now it got even worse with Xabi Alonso, who doesn't know how to handle these divas, who doesn't have the experience on how to handle these divas. Now, this is not just an opinion. I'm not just talking out of my ass, because several weeks ago, and I discussed this during the MoCast, not on the channel, regular videos, but on the MoCast, reports started to emerge from Iñaki Angulo, someone who's very, very close to Real Madrid, that the players no longer believed in Xabi Alonso. That Jude Bellingham wasn't even showing up to the tactical talks. Remember, when Koundé showed up late to the tactical talk, a few minutes late, Flick benched him. Here, we're talking about Jude Bellingham not even showing up at all to the tactical talks. We have Vinicius Jr., who also doesn't listen to Xabi Alonso. Even Valverde, they're saying, that doesn't listen to Xabi Alonso. And even Mastantuono, who just arrived, they were saying that he was complaining after the Clásico match that Xabi Alonso had not played him out loud in the locker room, to the point where some of the academy players had to tell him, dude, chill. You just got here. We've been here for years, our entire lives, and we didn't get to play. So you need to calm down. So these reports have been going on for quite some time that this locker room is absolutely fractured. These players don't believe in Xabi Alonso. They don't believe in his vision. They don't even listen to him. And as a result, they're doing whatever the hell they want on the field. And this has caused a big problem for Xabi Alonso because now he cannot implement his vision. So as we've seen, every match, it's a different lineup. It's a different formation. He's trying all these different things because the players won't implement his own vision. So he has to improvise. And what happens when you improvise? Well, it doesn't work. Not in modern football, at least. It doesn't work. And that's why we see, for example, Jude Bellingham, instead of staying back and being more of a pivot, he likes to attack. And as a result, he ends up getting in the way of Arda Güler, who should be the one who's attacking, who should be the attacking midfielder, right? We have Vinicius Jr., we have Mbappe, who just don't want to track back. They don't want to press. And it's a full-blown crisis right now at Real Madrid. Because when the players don't believe in a coach, when the players don't listen to the coach, it doesn't matter how good you are as a player, you're not going to succeed. After all, this is a team sport. This is not tennis. This is not 1v1. This is not boxing. You have to be able to play as a team. And, well, that's not happening at Real Madrid. Now, we're going to have to see what happens because, again, reports are stating that Florentino Perez wants the Manchester City match to be the final test for Xabi Alonso. And if Xabi Alonso does not win, he could be fired as soon as this Wednesday. So, full crisis at Real Madrid. Again, I don't blame Xabi Alonso. I think this is a problem that's been brewing for several seasons now, and it's only gotten worse and worse. And Xabi Alonso has helped aggravate it, but I don't think he's the source. But nonetheless, to me, wow, it's music to my ears. Now, again, Madridistas will say it was the referee yesterday. I hope they continue saying that because the same thing I used to say when Xavi Hernandez was our coach, as long as you look for excuses, well, you're never going to address the actual problem, the actual root of the problem. And that, to me, is music to my ears. So please, Madridistas, if you're watching this, keep blaming the refs. Keep blaming Xabi Alonso too, because remember, it's not just him, it's the players. Keep blaming all the other external factors, because as long as you do that, as long as you don't admit that your team is absolute shit, well, you're never going to be able to fix it, right? Because if there's no problem, how are you going to fix it? If it's someone else's fault, how are you going to fix it? There's no fixing it. So keep blaming other factors, because for now, I'm enjoying the view from the top. Now, Barcelona do, of course, have to focus now. They have to maintain the level, keep improving on it, keep growing, maintain the intensity, because this is the time to start building a gap between us and Madrid, because we don't know what's going to happen. Madrid are going through a crisis now, but we don't know if maybe they fire Xabi Alonso, bring someone else, and he's able to turn things around. So I think this is the time to take advantage of the situation, build as big of a lead as possible. That way, if Real Madrid are able to revert the situation, by then it would be too late. So I hope the players at Barcelona are not just saying, oh, the Madrid is in crisis, we can relax. I hope they take this as fuel, that this is the time to go for the final strike. If this was a boxing match, Real Madrid right now are dizzy. They're still on their feet, but they're dizzy. It's time now. Put them against the cord, the cables, or the cord, sorry, or the ropes, and give them the knockout punch and end the fight once and for all. Anyways, that is all I wanted to say about the current crisis in Real Madrid. Let me know you guys' thoughts. And of course, we'll end this video with the same chant we started with. Xavi, quédate. Xavi, quédate. Xavi, quédate.